everyone, welcome again to another episode on Be Kindled with Ginika Okoro. I'm a people and culture expert, and on this channel, I talk about three things: conscious leadership, identity, and elegant transitions. Okay, on today's episode, it came through true story. I have been blessed in the last few years to partner some really brilliant senior people. And I've been blessed because I've been able to get to them and get their buy-in on many things. It doesn't always start easily, but at the end of the day, I tell them, this person, if you like me, you won't even know why. But it's not just in the confession of it. I've come to realize that there is a method that God has helped me with, and I thought to put it together and share with you today. It was inspired by my moving from one organization to the other. I was reached out to by a colleague of mine. I then took on my previous role, and he was sharing with me about his experience in getting to one of my previous senior leaders. And it made me think that, believe it or not, is a real challenge. And so I thought to talk about it today on how do you influence senior leaders? How do you get them to look in your direction? How do you get their attention and help build the trust and connection between both of you? Because it's very important. If you want to be able to influence senior people, they have to even want to think that you are worth their time. And so what can you do? It doesn't have to be everything. You don't have to do all the things I write out or I reel out for you, but I know these are things that in different capacities I've been able to implement, whether together or in different maybe one at a time, but cumulatively they have really helped me build trust, show expertise, and also give value to more senior people. What is the biggest currency for senior leaders? It's time. They don't want to waste their time. They want to be sure that whatever they are giving their time to that is limited. It's to the best things and to the best people that will solve their problems. That's the starting point for me. So when we think about how can we get their attention, a good way to start from is understanding who the person is. So the first thing I would say is, who is this leader? Do you know about them? Have you done your research? Have you spoken to people that have been with them, worked with them? Like my colleague was calling me, things like that. Have you reached out to inquire about them? Are you curious about them? What makes them happy? What makes them sad? You would think, oh, why am I getting into the nitty-gritty? Remember, people do not care what you know unless they know you care. You can only care for someone by inquiring about them, learning about them. So learn about your leader. What are they good at? Ask about them and glean the themes that are coming through. I promise you, if you have a leader that the first thing you hear about is, oh, they're very mean, they are not good, this, and you let that seep into your spirit, there's no way you will be able to influence that leader. So there will be times when you're trying to get to this leader, you're trying to influence this senior person, and you hear negative things about them. A sign of maturity is your ability to sieve what you need and throw away the rest. Put it in the back burner. You are not using it for anything. You're not trying to be a gossip. But it's information that you might need. To put it somewhere that until you need it, and you may never need it, put it there. Because people will share with you their experiences based on their own lenses. Don't let that be the lens you then go with. But hear from them how this person interacts, how they like to communicate, how they want you to show up. Hear the things that matter. What are those themes that are coming through? oh, this person is performance driven, this person likes structure, this person likes structured communication, this person likes you to present on PowerPoint, or this person doesn't like PowerPoint, he likes Word. Understand them, those things that will make a difference. And you can only do that by asking the right questions. So don't go seeking for gossip. It will do you a disservice in the long run, because our ears are channels. So if you keep hearing negative about the leader you say you want to influence, I promise you the way you will show up will be the way that you've gotten from your informants. So get the right information, and if they are giving you wrong information, block it out, throw it somewhere. You don't need it, else it will color your lenses. So that's the first thing. The second thing is be authentic. The thing is, leaders can smell sycophants from far away, because from experience they've lived a very rich life dealing with different kinds of people. Most leaders at different stages in their lives, people want their attention, and so authenticity is a currency that you need to grow, you need to learn. And you can only be authentic when you know yourself. So you don't want to go there as a sycophant. You want to be able to stand your ground, hold your own, be able to be clear on your values, and assert yourself. Do it pleasantly. There's nothing wrong with being pleasant. Even if the person is mean. You've watched Beauty and the Beast, Abi. Beauty was pleasant. Beast was not pleasant. But it was through her, sweet spirit that she was able to win him over. So the fact that the person is mean does not mean you now go there and your face will not be bony. No. Be you. Be authentic. Be real. If that's not you, smiling every time, then be what you are comfortable with. But don't try to mold yourself to how you think you should be, or how this person was when they were working with them. No. Be you. They see through it, and they appreciate authenticity. Yeah? The third thing I would say is understand what their personality types are. What are their proclivities? Are they analytical versus emotional? So that when you are presenting things to them, you get to know, what's the best way to present this thing? Should I lead with the analytics first before the emotion, or the emotion first and pad it with the analytics? How do I come across? How do they think? Listen to things they've taught. If they are in forums that they are talking about things, go and attend those forums so that you can understand the way they think. What it does is that when you present things to them, you're already at least 40 to 50% there, because you've come the way they like things to be presented. You've come the way they want things to be presented. That way you're able to get what you want faster, as opposed to just meandering and trying different things. So find out, how is this person? Ask questions. Are they analytical? Do they like a mix of both? What's their background? It helps you know how to show up. The other thing I'll talk about is identify forums that they're passionate about. What are their interests? Many times, you see, decisions are not always made in the boardroom. They are made in those corners where it's gist that we're talking about. We're talking about Arsenal. We're talking about how, Tottenham beat this one. Or we're talking about tennis. We're talking about church. We're talking about, life. We're talking about the different things, the US elections. How do they like to interact? What makes them tick? We're talking about policy development. Find out what they are interested in, because those are easy low entry points for you. If it's something that you like, you then chip in your 2 cents. I just started playing tennis. Who do you think introduced me to my coach, one of my senior leaders? Because I talked about, I want to, and she's like, okay, I play tennis, so I just learned. That is it. Find those low entry points and build from there. It's a very, very powerful way to establish human connections. And if you remember my previous video, I talked about one way to build influence is through human connection. We talked about 4. One was positional authority, through positional authority, which is really the weakest, because if it's stripped of you, what then happens? The second is getting to the emotions of people. The third had to do with your expertise. And the fourth had to do with building connections and understanding how to read a room and using it to your advantage. Those are 4 ways. And so learn it. The other thing I'll talk about is, who are his peers that he likes or he respects. There are always people that your best, the person you like, their best friend. When you're asking a girl out, you check who is her friend that I know. That is the exact thing. These are just people who have grown in their career and more guarded. They have more boundaries. They have more limited time, but they are still human beings. So you find out which of their peers like you, or do you have interests, similar interests that you can, get to know, and from there build a relationship with this particular leader. Because people talk, build those connections. But I will tell you, don't do it in a manipulative way. If your only goal is to get something from someone and then run, I'm sorry, you're not the one I'm talking to. You should be, as a leader, and I've said it in previous videos, you should come from a place of purpose and service. So that should be the goal. So, but a good way is to find out which of the other leaders can you work with to get into this leader's heart. For instance, one of the things I told my colleague was, you can speak to XYZ. They're usually his 2 ICs, and by the time they're always talking about you, you are okay, so work with them. He's not giving you time, that's fine. Work with these other people that he's always interacting with, and before you know it, they're talking about you, and your game, you're in. So the next time you come, he's more acceptable because he's heard your name too many times. He's like, what am I missing out on? So things like that. That's how you build allies. That's what that is. Get allies on your side. And then there's also something I think is very powerful. Leaders don't have time, but they still have problems. So they will look to people who are helping them solve those problems. So if you can add value, make them see that I'm here to solve your problem. So that means you have to identify what are those low-hanging fruits that I can deal with that will make their lives easier. So go with the goal of solving a problem. Many people say, I want this person as my mentor. I want this person. My dear, do you know how many people are asking for them to be their mentor? And many times it's just for the selfish bragging rights. I speak to this person. No. How about you go differently to say, this is my expertise. This is what I can do. Is there anything I can do for you in this regard? They may not answer immediately, but you've left something with them. And later on, when something comes up, they can reach out to you. I have this. Are you interested? That's an inroad. That's an access point. And don't misuse it. Don't misuse it when you get there. My point is, give value instead of wanting to take every time. So if you're wanting to influence a senior leader, find out what are those things I can do, low-hanging fruits that are probably problem areas for this individual that I can solve for them. It's an easy way to get their attention, to influence them, and get their hearts. And also the last bit I will talk about, maybe not the last bit, last but one, is on storytelling. Again, I said it before, I've said it again, I'm saying it again. The currency of everybody, especially senior people, is time. So the question is, when you're given the opportunity, how do you craft your communication, your storytelling? Do you go on and on, just long-winded, just yapping, and then they lose interest and they're like, this was exhausting? You've lost them forever. It will take God's grace for them to give you another airtime. So when you've now gotten audience with them, or you've gotten, I have only 15 minutes, you craft it in a way that in these 15 minutes, if you've found out that, okay, this is a heart person, you go with the heart, but at the end, you now bring the head, the analytical part. In those 15 minutes, ask yourself, what's my elevator pitch? What do I want from this person? How do I want it to be? Be clear on the outcome you want in those 15 minutes, and don't meander. Practice. Be prepared. So both verbal communication, written communication, you should be sharp. Understand what storytelling is. If you don't understand it as a skill, go and learn it. Because when you are given opportunities, that will stand you out, whether it's in interviews, whether it's in presentations, when you show up on podiums, when you're given 5 minutes to talk about yourself. The way you tell your story matters. So if you've finally done everything and it says, Okay, I'll see you for 15 minutes, 20 minutes. What do you want from them? Are you clear about it? How would they help you? Or you go there stuttering? No, don't waste their time. If you don't know, don't ask for time. Don't ask for time, because it will then be worse off than when you started. Yeah, so be a great storyteller. Practice your elevator pitch. When you have the opportunity to send them emails, be clear, be crisp, be to the point, and let them be clear on what their action is at the end of the day. If it is an informatory email, clear. If it is an action email, let them know this is your action, sir. Sir or ma, be clear. Written communication, verbal communication, craft your story properly. The last thing will be an expert and show consistency. So you can't say, oh, I want to influence someone, and you're inconsistent. The moment you show inconsistency, even with your expertise, they are like, please, I don't have time for this. So show consistency with your expertise. You're saying you've come to solve a problem, be consistent. You're saying you want to do this, you've committed to doing it at this time, be consistent. Be consistent, be accountable, be proactive. Because over time, they want someone that will help them save the time, that will want them to think less. Be proactive, but be consistent in whatever you have committed to do. That way, they know that you are reliable, and you can get their buy-in, you can get their influence easily. And they start becoming invested in you. They'll be giving you free advice that you sometimes be like, what did I ask you? What are you saying? But they've seen that you're someone that they can actually rely on. That's why. So please, if you have those opportunities, one thing I'll say is don't misuse it. Don't misuse it, because you may not get them again. And they are a dime a dozen. So please, if you get those opportunities to influence leaders, gain their trust, make sure that they don't regret it. Yeah? So that's the end for this. The assignment today is that if there's a leader you have that came to mind that, oh, I want to, get into the good books of this person, or I want to reach out to this person, I want you to think about these things I've mentioned and ask yourself, which one or two things can I do differently to get their attention in the next, give yourself 1 month. It doesn't have to be immediate, because these things take time, but identify 1 or 2 things that you've not tried, that was on the list that you would like to try. And please give me comments. Let me know how it went for you. Let's dialogue in the comment section. I really want to hear from you. Until our next episode, let's be kindled together.